we have so much to be grateful for. I thank the good Lord every day for this family.
So this is so fun because coming up even this Sunday, which is crazy, this new Waltons program is coming out. How fun is it to like revisit?
It's a lot of fun. What's nice about having already done the first one is you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, and the rapport is a lot easier because we already, with the family and the other cast, like we've already done a whole movie. So, really, we just leaned into keeping the family dynamics going, which is mostly like messing around in between takes and having fun because it translates on screen. And yeah, I mean, everyone's a blast. Everyone's a blast. There's inside jokes from the first one. It's a really good time. So,
and it's amazing too because you guys did so well the first time around on CW that they wanted to do another one. And so I do think that audience will really like this one because it's very, uplifting and just like really nice content, right? Like it's really wholesome. And so, what were some of the things that you were like, what are some of the reasons you like doing this? The Waltons?
Well, there's a lot. I would say one of the biggest things for me is that there's a strong faith component. Being a part of something that includes God, puts God forward, has moral lessons, and isn't trying to be preachy, but it incorporates God into the world of the characters. And I find that to be a really big blessing because it's kind of rare nowadays. Like, even if it's in there, it's not, it's skewed or it's something that I don't necessarily believe in. So anyways, that's just a really big treat. And then John Boy's a pretty interesting character. He's got a lot on his plate. And I don't know, I've had so much fun on This Is Us working with material that circles around a family, and it's the same thing for the Waltons because it's all about your relationship to the family, and like there's just so much joy there. So yeah,
I think you're right about the faith because it shows kind of how like it shows how you should live out your faith in like the different scenarios. Like the one character has to learn how to say I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly
and like your character has to like learn responsibility. I mean, everybody needs to learn that, not just faith people, but but it does have like good, like the faith is kind of intertwined with like how the story is.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I personally don't want to be a part of something that glorifies negative messaging really strongly. So I'm always looking for that when I'm working on a project. And this is, quite literally the opposite. It's all about family lessons and just a lot of things. The Waltons, what's really great about the Waltons, I feel like, is it's very poignant to show things that we take for granted nowadays, which is like alone time with your family, not being on your phone and connecting with people, things like, all the like boring things, right? Like responsibility and all that kind of stuff. But when you take it for granted, your life starts to fall apart. So
yeah. And for your character, talk a little bit more about his big thing this time is to learn the responsibility or like to get focused, right?
It's pretty much to get focused. He's pretty distracted by the girls. Yeah. John Boy's a bit distracted in this one. So yeah, that's his thing, which is somewhat comical, and I know that they have plans to do more, so I think it's perhaps building to other things as well. But yeah, that's I guess most of, and John Boy has to learn a lesson about forgiveness as well, and with forgiving himself. So yeah.
Have any of these families that you've played, like in This Is Us or the Waltons, have reminded you of your family? I'm sure you have, your family supports your endeavors, acting. And, yeah.
Yeah, the good and the bad, of course, right? Like This Is Us, there's so much dynamics to that like how could you not? They've probably written every storyline that can relate to people and their family situation. So one of the biggest ones, like I have two little brothers, so usually all the brother stuff gets me, like the butting heads and then the forgiveness or the like withholding love because you're still mad at them. Like all of that is super native to me growing up, and the same thing with the Waltons is as well as This Is Us in life. Like it just kind of gets easier when you get older. I feel like when you're growing up as kids, it's so much easier to. The difference between a year and age feels like so much, and the older you get, you feel the same. So I don't know.
You feel connected to them in a different way. You know, just finally, like, what would you hope like people feel about this after they watch it, or kind of what's your hope for audiences?
I hope that people use it as an opportunity to get their families together. That was one of the most special things that people would always say with This Is Us, and what people said about the first one was that I sat around with my family to watch it, or people would thank me. Thank you for doing something that I could watch with my whole family. Because nowadays, actually, it's kind of hard to find, to be honest. There are things, but it's you know, it's more scarce. So the hope for me is that people do literally get around with their family to spend time with them more, but that just in general, the story of the Waltons inspires them to do that more than just when they watch the movie. You know, I think there's something special about the 30s where you had to live in a house with your family, and you might drive each other kind of crazy sometimes, but you know, it's just so easy to be disconnected from the people in your life, not even just your family. So I hope people at least get that from it, to kind of slow down and spend some more time with the people they love.
Good night, Jason.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, Libby.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, Aaron.
Good night, John Boy.
A Waltons Thanksgiving, new holiday special, November 20th. Free next day only on the CW app.